Sound good out there? Okay, thank you. Yeah, I'll just kind of noodle around until you're ready. Oh, in the beginning. Yeah, I mean, I'll just kind of noodle around on the chorus, and then maybe I'll just go right into the verse once you're ready. Done. Okay. Mm-hmm. It's yeah. Mm-hmm. Sure. Yeah. It's quick. Where'd you go, Shalom? There we go. The clapster. Okay. Cool.
Thank you, sir.
Mm-hmm. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom.
Yes.
I think she is sitting with,
I'll just sit by it.
yeah, that's good.
I'm just gonna like play some when you give me stuff, and then give it equal.
Perfect.
Make it extra evil.
Laugh right into the microphone.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you.
Come on in, everyone. Find a seat. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Come on in. Find a seat.
Shabbat Shalom.
You guys, I realize it's been a long time since we've been together, but literally only Rob said Shabbat Shalom back to me. That fills me with sadness. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It's better. Welcome. Welcome to Temple Israel. I'm so glad you could be here with us this evening as we celebrate together. And I know for a lot of us, it's been a long time since we've been able to be in this room and singing all together. So I really want to be able to encourage everyone to lift their voices in song. And we're going to start with a song that tells us to do just that. It's on page 339 at the bottom of the page. The words are Havana Shira.
Havana Shira, Havana Shira, Havana Shira, let us sing. Havana Shira, Havana Shira, Havana Shira, let us sing. Come let us sing, come let us sing, come let us sing, come let us sing. Havana Shira, come let us sing, come let us sing, come let us sing, come let us sing. Havana Shira, Havana Shira, Havana Shira, Havana Shira, let us sing. Havana Shira, Havana Shira, Havana Shira, let us sing. Come let us sing, come let us sing, let us sing, come let us sing. Havana Shira, come let us sing, come let us sing, come let us sing, come let us sing. Havana Shira, Havana Shira, Havana Shira, Havana Shira, let us sing. Havana Shira, Havana Shira, Havana Shira, let us sing.
Beautiful. All right, so back in the old days, before, all of this crazy COVID stuff happened, a lot of times we would begin services, and I would say to you, to really be able to get into the Shabbat spirit, we should take a moment and make sure that we kind of know the people sitting around us. So, if you're comfortable, I would love to invite you to just take a moment and turn to someone who's sitting close to you, who you didn't come here with, and will you just introduce yourself and wish them a Shabbat Shalom? All right, we're gonna do one more warm-up song just because it's that kind of a night. This is a Hine Mato that we've done before.
That's right.
A few
Yeah.
times. So.
There are 3 parts to it. So pick your favorite part if you feel like singing along. Hine, 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 hine.
I think your mic might be off.
What's that?
Is your? Oh no, I can hear you. Never mind.
Yeah, it's on.
All right,
Yeah.
try again. We're getting used to this.
Let's try that. Hine, 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 hine again. Hine, 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 hine. Second part goes like this. Hine mato umanai. Hine mato umanai. Your turn. Hine mato umanai. Again. Hine mato umanai. Back to the beginning. Hine, 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 hine. Hine, 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 hine. Second part. Hine mato umanai. Hine mato. You got it. Umanai. Third part goes like this. How good and how pleasant it is for brothers and sisters to come together in peace and in unity. That's a lot of words, so I'm just going to do that part. How good and how pleasant it is for brothers and sisters to come together in peace and in unity. You guys can do hine, hine mato umanai. Hine mato. Now go back to the beginning. Hine, hine. How good and how pleasant it is for brothers and sisters to come together in peace and in unity. How good and how pleasant it is for brothers and sisters to come together in peace and in unity. Oh yeah. How good and how pleasant it is for brothers and sisters to come together in peace and in unity. Last time. How good and how pleasant it is for brothers and sisters to come together in peace and in unity. Ooh.
Beautiful. Nicely done, everyone. All right, now I kind of feel like we're ready. We had Jewish Standard Time. It took a little while. So we always like to begin our services after we do a little singing and being able to welcome each other by doing the Shabbat rituals that traditionally we do at home, but here we do them just in case you didn't have time to do them. And we have some very special guests who are helping us because tomorrow, Noah Merbaum's becoming a bar mitzvah. Woo! So, in anticipation of that, I would like to invite up Marta and Mike Merbaum and Abby Davison. And I'm going to, as you guys come, yeah? Yes, come on up. That's you and Noah. You can help too. Good. All right. So before they do this, I have to show you guys something awesome. So tonight is a very special Shabbat, not just because it's Noah's Bar Mitzvah weekend and because it's Education Shabbat, but the first Shabbat after Pesach, there is a tradition that you bake a very special kind of challah. So I'm going to show you this. So Maura Diane made this for us. This is called a Schlüssel challah, and Schlüssel, if you know your German, means like Schlüssel, like a key. And the idea is that you make this beautiful key challah, and it's supposed to give you good fortune. So Maura Diane made this so you all could see it. I'm not giving it to Noah because I know Noah, and he's gonna eat the whole thing. So you get the little challah that's in here, and I'm taking this one home. But I at least wanted you to show, to see how amazing this Schlüssel challah is. And then I'm going to turn it to you. So if you all want to get our light our candles, and our candle lighting can begin in the Siddur. You can do it, yeah? Bar mitzvah time. It doesn't matter which one you do first. Look at you first time. It's because I said you did it the first time, yeah. I jinxed you. Oh, actually, oh, there you go. Okay. Beautiful. All right, so we take a few moments and we bring in that Shabbat spirit. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner Shabbat. Beautiful. And if someone wants to lift the Kiddush cup, you can charge that. Now Kiddush?
The wine, are you doing it? They're all doing
Amen.
Amen, amen, amen. So who drinks? You? Drink, kid, drink. Drink all of it?
It's grape juice.
I want you to get sick. It's just grape juice. You all seem so concerned. No, you don't need to drink all of it. It really, it's okay. All right, and then is this your challah cover that you guys brought?
Yeah.
Wow, that is gorgeous. Oh my goodness. Well, that is absolutely beautiful. So Noah, if you want to lift off the challah cover and you get the nebusha challah underneath, I'll give you a bite of my challah later if you want to. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. All right. And bar mitzvah boy, you do get to actually eat the whole thing if you want to. Yeah, you can bring it back to your seat. That's why I'm not letting you take my challah, because I know you're going to eat it. All right. Mazal tov. Bring your family with you.
I think we're done, right? I love the way you did the singing.
So we're going to turn now into our service, and I'll ask you, if you will, to please rise, and we'll turn to page. Oh, man, I feel like it's been forever since we've done this, right? Let's turn to our Baruch Hu, which we can find on page 146.
Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Baruch et Adonai HaMevorach Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed.
On the bottom of 147, Adonai, your majesty is proclaimed by the marvels of earth and sky. Sun, moon, and stars testify to your power and wisdom. Day follows day in endless succession, and the years vanish, but your sovereignty endures. Though all things pass, let not your glory depart from us. Help us to become co-workers with you, and endow our fleeting days with abiding worth. Baruch atah Adonai Ham'ariv Aravim, and we join in words of Shema on 149.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchutzo Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchutzo Le'olam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
Please be seated, though Corey, if you want to keep dancing, girl, I hope you dance all night. And I know that we have some students who have been preparing to help lead us in Ve'ahavta. So if you are one of those students, I would invite you to come on up. I'm not going to call you by name, but I might be looking at you. Yes, there you go. You get the look. All right, so on page 150, we'll join together in Ve'ahavta.
Adonai Elohecha v'kol nafshecha u'kol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher Anochi metzavecha hayom alevavecha v'shinatana v'necha v'dibarta ba'am v'shivteha v'teha u'lechteha v'aderet u'shofecha u'kumecha u'shartam le'or yadecha v'hayu l'totafo b'einecha u'tatam al mezuzot beitecha u'visharecha L'man tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'tem kedoshim Elohim Ani Adonai Elohim asher hoseiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim v'yom lachem Elohim Ani Adonai Elohim.
So it's pretty amazing to think that you have a baby and one day they grow up and they're leading you in services, but it takes a while until we get there. And so sometimes when we come together in services, we get to celebrate not just our 11 and 12 and 13-year-olds, but our new little ones. And so I would love to invite up David and Emily and their little girl. Come on up, Miss Madison. Couldn't tell if she was sleeping, so I hope we're not waking her. All right, so as they're coming up, I'm going to tell you about this chair that I just schlepped from the front row, which I bet you were thinking, what is she doing? It just looks like she's bringing a chair from the front row, but no. This is a special chair. And this is actually the same chair that you may have had at your Seder table and didn't even realize it. Because just as every time we come together for Passover, we leave a chair open for Elijah, good. Yes, for Elijah. We also do the same thing every time we welcome a new child into our midst, because we believe that Elijah is the one who's going to come and tell us when that one great being is going to come and save the day and save the whole world, and we wait for him on Passover, and we wait for him every time we bring a new life into our midst. So Emily, why don't you sit there with her? Oh no, oh you're so beautiful, I know, oh my goodness. So everyone, this is Madison. We're not going to make this take too long because it's tough to be in front of all these people. Oh my goodness. I would give you my challah if you could eat challah. I would be willing to give it to you. But the tradition is that we come and we talk about the name that her parents have chosen for her, both her English name and her Hebrew name. So I would love, do you guys want to take a moment and tell everyone what her names are?
Well, her name is Madison Ava Jolly, and we're naming her. Her Hebrew name will be. Oh yeah, okay. So David and we actually met in Madison, Wisconsin. So we decided to name her Madison. Simple as that. And we thought it was a very beautiful name. And her middle name Ava is after my late grandmother Annette. Want to explain the Hebrew name?
Sure. So her Hebrew name is Adira Shoshana. So the Adira comes from, well, I guess it's the same A, right?
The same A.
And also, I believe it means, what was
Adira, so mighty and strong.
Mighty and strong, and we feel like she's very mighty and strong already.
And strong.
And the Shoshana, first we like the sound. It means rose. And the S comes from three of my grandparents. Their first names started with S, so that was Saul, Sam, and Selma.
And also, my middle name is Rose, and my late grandmother Dorothy, her Hebrew name was Adina. So a lot of family.
So Miss Adira Shoshana, we give you your Hebrew name on this day, and we made you this little certificate too, so just in case you ever forget, you can keep this on your wall forever, or you'll just, when you come back for your bat mitzvah, you'll be like, what did we name her? But I think you'll remember. So the idea of giving you this Hebrew name is because even though you're still a very little girl, you have a very big future in front of you. And you are named after all of these wonderful memories from your parents' lives and all of those wonderful people who came before you. And so as we give you this Hebrew name, I pray that it brings you a life of blessing. The tradition says that we should wish you a few things on this day. The one is we should wish you a lifetime of learning, so that with Torah and with learning, you know you will never be alone. I wish you, too, a lifetime of love, that you find love just as your parents did, that you find friendship, that you always feel that you are surrounded by companions and people who adore you and who you can adore in return. And also that we make sure that you are living a life of gemilut chasadim, that you are always giving back to the community and knowing that there are people who are going to rely on you to help make the world a better place. And you don't have to be the Messiah to do it, you can just be little you. So I'm going to give you a blessing now, and this is a blessing that I get to give you now. I can't be close to you. I get to give you this now, and then again when you start religious school, and then again when you become a bat mitzvah, and then on your wedding day a long, long time from now. Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichunecha. May God's light shine upon you, and may God be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God's countenance be lifted over you. May you always be granted with wholeness and peace. And if you can all join me in saying Amen. Amen. Welcome to the community, baby girl. We're so glad you're here with us. I'm also telling you guys, I'm so happy for you. Oh, you did so well. My goodness, it's a lot of people looking at you. Oh, cool. we start with Ve'ahavta, reminding us that we need to love God and teach that to our children. And we move on to Micha Mocha on page 152, reminding us what it was like when our ancestors were just new themselves, new Israelites, new to freedom, and what it was like for them to come into this freedom that we all experience. And so we sing Micha Mocha together on page 152.
Ya la la la, ya la la, ya la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la la, ya la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar ba'kodesh, mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar ba'kodesh. Nora teilot oseh pele, Nora teilot oseh pele, Adonai imlok leolam va'ed.
Yechamocha is the song that our ancestors sang when they were crossing from slavery to freedom, which we just told a story about on Passover. But we know that between Passover and Shavuot, which is the holiday that comes next, that we have a long time. And that symbolically, it's this idea of reminding us that it takes a long time to get from slavery to freedom. More than just one song, at least two songs. So the next song that we sing is Hashkivenu on page 153, that reminds us that wherever we go, even if we have freedom, that we need God to spread peace over all of us, wherever we are.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom Ve'amitenu shomreinu b'chayim.
Hashkivenu again, try it with us.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom Ve'amitenu shomreinu b'chayim.
Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us in wisdom, compassion, and trust.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom V'hamidenu shomreinu l'chayim. Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, sorrow and pain. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom V'hamidenu shomreinu l'chayim.
All right, I'm going to invite a few more students back. Same group as before, or maybe there's some others who want to join us to help lead us in tefillah on page 155. Helpers, as you guys are making your way up, we'll invite everyone else to stand. Come on up if you're a helper. On page 155.
You have to do the dough. I'll start with the you gotta do the dough. Yeah, we decided. Wait, what is that, 155? Go. Adonai sefer tatita ufi aditeyu atem.
Adonai, open my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu Bimotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor V'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Hasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Hasdei Arot V'Imahot, U'Mevi Geula L'nei B'nehem, L'man Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Hoseh U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, V'Zrat Sarah, Atah Gibor L'olam Adonai, V'Hayei Hakol Atah V'Hoshia, V'Hakil Hayim V'Hesed, V'Hayei Hakol V'Rachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim V'Rofei Holim, U'Matir Asurim, U'Mekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Mihamo Hanafa'al Gevurot, U'Midom Elah, Melech Levi, U'Mechayeh, U'Masmiach Yeshua, V'Ne'eman atah L'Chayot Hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, V'Hayei Hakol.
Seated. So last week, for those of you who were here, you know that the Chain Litvin was here, and he spoke with Rabbi Shook about the situation in Ukraine and the different ways that we can help. And so I'm going to encourage you again, if you want to talk to Gene, he's there, or you can watch last week's service. But we know that one of the things that we can do is we can just offer our prayers for peace and hope that maybe if we are able to truly direct our hearts and our thoughts to all of those places in the world, but especially Ukraine, where there is so much fighting and so much hardship right now, that maybe peace will find a way there. And so we join together on page 164, and we offer a prayer for peace with Shalom Rav.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Ki Atahu Melech Adon Lechol HaShalom. Ki Atahu Melech Adon Lechol HaShalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. B'tov beinecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Tasim Le'olam.
tassim leolam.
So at this point in our service, we always take a few moments to offer healing prayers. And tonight, we're going to do a little bit of a different one. You've heard it before, don't panic. But the idea is really that any prayer that we say, it should be one that we don't say so often that it gets stale. And sometimes even our healing prayer, it can feel like it's not quite from the heart. So in a few moments, we'll offer a healing prayer. And if there's someone that you're thinking of, someone who is hurting in mind or body or spirit, and you'd like to be able to say their names and know that it would be meaningful to them, I'd invite you to do so now. We're thinking too of Lacey Weinstein. We're thinking of Alice Handelman, of Arlene Alper, of Michael, and of all those names that we're thinking to ourselves and it's hard to say, we sing a healing prayer for them.
Dear God of our ancestors,
Dear God of our ancestors,
help us renew our faith.
help us renew our faith.
Grant us a perfect healing.
Grant us a perfect healing.
Bring peace to all our days.
Bring peace to all our days.
El na rafana la, rafana la nu. El na rafana la, rafana la nu. Restore our strength of body.
Restore our strength of body.
Help clarify our minds.
Help clarify our minds.
Refresh our tired spirits.
Refresh our tired spirits.
Rejuvenate our light.
Rejuvenate our light.
El na rafana la, rafana la nu. El na rafana la, rafana la nu. Thank you for all these blessings.
Thank you for all these blessings.
Throughout our days and nights,
Throughout our days and nights,
we celebrate the journey.
we celebrate the journey.
This precious gift of life.
This precious gift of life.
El na rafana la, rafana la nu. El na rafana la, rafana la nu. El na rafana la, rafana la nu. Say shalom bimroma, huya ase shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru Ose shalom bimroma, uyase shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevet, ve'imru Amen. La 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 ya la la ya la 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 ya la la ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la la ya la 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 ya la la ya la 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 Ose shalom bimroma uyase shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevet ve'imru Amen. Ve'imru Amen. Ve'imru
So tomorrow at Noah's bar mitzvah, he's going to read from the Torah. And Noah's bar mitzvah has a few kind of amazing things that happen in his Torah portion. The first is that we are introduced to the first time we hear the name of someone who is going to become a very underrated but awesome X-Men villain thousands of years later, so that happens. We're also going to learn the very coolest way to curse someone out in Hebrew. Okay, see, now you want to come, right? But besides those two things, we also learn in his Torah portion what the ancient Israelites did when things seemed to go so very wrong, when people were making mistakes, when the whole world was a mess, and all that everyone wanted to do was put the responsibility on someone else. They just wanted someone else to be responsible, someone else to take all the blame, someone else to be in charge. And while Noah's going to tell you exactly what the ancient Israelites came up with, this is something that my guess is we are all kind of familiar with. Because the past 2 years and approximately 6.5 weeks, we've also felt like things have been going very wrong. And we just often wanted someone to be able to be in charge, to be the one responsible to make things better, maybe even to take a little bit of the blame. And one of the groups of people in our community who we have put so much on, who we have asked to be responsible for so very much, have been our teachers. And we know that our teachers have had to do so much these past few years, more than most of them ever imagined they would have to do. That it's not just that they had to learn how to be able to teach virtually and then how to teach hybrid, and they had to be able to not only teach kids whatever they had been trained to do, but learn how to do it while they're wearing masks and while all of the children and all of their parents were having so many different issues. But what we have seen is that our teachers have been absolutely remarkable. And if you read the news, not necessarily well rewarded for it. So what we want to at least do here tonight is to be able to honor the teachers within our own community. It is our tradition, actually, every year that we have an Education Shabbat where we call up our teachers, and we especially have this opportunity to honor those with milestones. But we haven't been able to be together for 2 years, so we have a few extra milestones to celebrate tonight. So what I'd love to do first is to invite all of our religious school and Hebrew school teachers to come on up onto the bima so that everyone can see your awesomeness. So my friends, what we have here is just some of our incredible religious school and Hebrew school teachers and some of their special helpers also, which is excellent. Drew and Tyler and Elliot. Maddie, are you also gonna help? Girl, you've been like the star tonight. Come on, everyone's got to see your cuteness. Because the people at home can't do that. Maddie and Corey, come on up. Both of you, yes. And your friend. Yes, thank you. And the cow is very important as well. Good. So my friends, the teachers that you see before you, they have spent the past few years educating our young people. And you all know that Hebrew school and religious school are sometimes tough to get kids to in the first place, but somehow they have been so amazing and have managed to bring our children together week after week, often doing so on the computer or not in a way that they're comfortable with. And I will tell you, as a parent of some of these students, that remarkably, the past few years have been some of the best and most engaging education that our children have had here in religious school, because our teachers have just put so much into everything they've done. So before we do anything, I would love, every once in a while, we're allowed to give applause in synagogue, so I'd love if we could maybe just give them a little round. So we do want to call out just a few people by name. I'm going to try and not block your view. Elliot, can you see? Okay. So I want to be able to call a few people out by name, because one thing that you may know about Temple Israel that really sets us apart is we have teachers who stay here for a very long time with us. And it's amazing because it means that we have people who from one generation after the next are really able to know our community. So first I'm going to invite Maura Amanda. So everyone, this is Maura Amanda. So Maura Amanda has officially been here, well, your entire life. I'm not going to tell everyone how old you are, but Maura Amanda has been teaching with us for 6 years. So last year would have been her 5-year anniversary. And have you been doing 4th grade the whole time? 1 year of 1st grade. And Maura Amanda, will you also tell us what is the award that you got? Also, not at Temple Israel Religious School, but
the Alyssa Frohman Inspiring Leader Award.
And I think you have something else, didn't you?
I was a teacher of the year for my school.
Oh, and teacher of the year, whatever. Nothing at all. So, Mazel tov, we're so lucky to have you. And I think Maura Leslie, do you have something for Amanda? Thank you so much for all you do. All right. And next we're going to invite up Maura Howard. So Maura Howard, this says that you have been teaching for 7 years, which is only true at Temple Israel. But how long have you actually been a religious school teacher?
38 years.
38 years. So Maura Howard has been teaching our 6th grade here. He also teaches in our Hebrew school, and I know all of the students love you so much, and we're so grateful for your leadership and your teacher. And Maura Leslie has something for you as well. Maura Leslie, you're running away from me, or are you giving something? This is also Maura Howard's granddaughter. Yes. Thank you for all you do. All right, Elliot, bring up your mom. And this is Maura Sivia. Maura Sivia has been teaching here for 7 years, and she is one of our amazing Hebrew school teachers. And I know she makes Hebrew learning so incredibly engaging and fun, so we're so grateful for all you do. Thank you for teaching here. And you did awesome, Elliot. Dude, you were so big. I can't do no. So awesome. Thank you for all you do. We're so good. All right, so we have 2 more milestones. So first is Maura Malka, also known as Adele, but all of her students know her as Maura Malka. So Adele has been teaching, how is this even possible? Has been teaching her for 26 years. And Adele has really done pretty much everything. She has been a religious school teacher, she's been a Hebrew school teacher, she's been a tutor, she was even our interim education director for several years when Rabbi Michael and I begged her to do it, and we are so grateful for everything that you do for us. I don't know what we would do without you. I've been begging her not to ever retire, and we're like coming to some sort of agreement, but I'm so grateful for all you do. Thank you, Adele. All right, next, Maura Jennifer. I lost you. All right, so is this officially 20? Is it really 20? finishing 21. Oh my gosh. Okay, so 21 years for Maura Jennifer, and she has her amazing helpers, Tyler and Drew here. And Maura Jennifer, have you been the first grade teacher the whole time? So Maura Jennifer has been teaching first grade the whole time she has been here. She was also a first grade teacher in public school, and so you guys came along, and she was like, she needed to be able to spend some other time with you as well. But we are so lucky to have you, and for the generations of kids now who've come through you, thank you for all you do. It's not edible. I'm sorry. All right, and then last but not least, Maura Debbie. So I feel like I do have to explain this number because Maura Debbie is someone who was a student here and then became a madricha, which is like a teacher aide, and then immediately became a teacher, which is why I'm able to say that Maura Debbie has been here for 27 years teaching, which is kind of amazing because it's like her whole. Maura Debbie is so grateful for everything you do. Maura Debbie is also a Hebrew teacher and a tutor and also kind of runs the synagogue. So we are so grateful for everything you do. So thank you, and thank you again, Drew. You're like the star tonight, buddy. It's awesome. Thank you, Debbie. And then last but not least, before we do one final round of applause, I just want to say something about Maura Leslie Goldenberg. So I realized that because of the pandemic, some of you may have never even met Leslie. She's on the end here. But when Leslie started here a few years ago, she came here and she was a Hebrew school teacher, and then she was working in our preschool. And then we were so excited. She came and she was leading our religious school. And then the pandemic happened, and then Leslie Wolf got sick, and Leslie Goldenberg took over everything. And she has been here in this amazing capacity running the preschool and running the religious school through the pandemic, and I can just say it has been an amazing, amazing time. She has been putting so much work and so much effort into making everything so smooth, and while we are delighted that Cindy is coming on and you are finally going to have someone else who you can share that role with, we are just so grateful for everything that you have done. And with all of you, thank you for everything you do. We're looking forward to many, many more events. And they also wanted me to remind you that there is still Sunday school on Sunday. Okay. All right, so we have one last group of helpers who's going to help us with our Aleinu tonight. So if that's you, you know who you are. Aleinu kiddos. Maybe? Yes. Boys in the back, I see you. Come on up. And girls in the back. All right, so we're going to invite everyone else, please, to turn to page 282 and rise.
Jacob, no.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'tzeit gedula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoyei ha'artzot, velo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo samchakenu kahem, v'goralenu kechol hamonam, va'anachnu korim, ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא ביום ושמו אחד.
So as you may know, yesterday was Yom HaShoah, and so on page 292 we read, "We've lived in numberless towns and villages, and in too many of them we've endured cruel suffering. Some we've forgotten, others are sealed in our memory, a wound that does not heal. 100 generations of victims and martyrs, still their blood cries from the earth, and so many at Dachau, at Buchenwald, at Babi Yar. What can we say and what can we do? How bear the unbearable or accept what life has brought to our people? All who are born must die, but how shall we compare the slow passage of time with the callous slaughter of the innocent cut off before their time? They lived with faith, not all but many, and surely many died with faith in God and life in the goodness that even flames cannot destroy. May we find a way to the strength of that faith, that trust, that sure sense that life and soul endure beyond this body's death. They've left their lives to us. Let a million prayers rise whenever Jews worship. Let a million candles glow against the darkness of those unfinished lives." And so we recall with love the names of those taken from us in recent days, and our hearts go out to their family and sympathies. We recall the name Joanne Sandlin. And we now recall the names of those, the anniversary of whose death occurs on this Shabbat, and whose names have been inscribed in the archives of our congregation or on the Wall of Honor for a perpetual memorial. Ruth Aronoff, Sarah Balk, Valley Bender, Wilbur Bender, Bessie Berger, William Bloom, Helen Meyer Carroll, Frances Citron, Sidney Dennis, Irma Weil Eisman, Rosalie Feldman, Elaine Fishman, Etta Frager, Julius Frank, Leo Frank, Adeline Schoenstatt-Freund, Molly Gelb, Morris Moshe Glazer, Rosalie Kleinhauser Glazer, Joe Glassman, Goldie Goldstein, Ralph Phillipson Goldsticker, Ted Greenberg, Dr. David W. Hellman, Jerry Kaiser, Carol Canner, Elias Kaplan, M. Donald Kessler, Paula Clearman, Clarence Kohner, Jerome Kottman, Joseph Cutton, Edgar Lloyd Levin, Kay Levin, Simon Losses, Ralph Lowenbaum Jr., Robert Nassauer, Louis Newman, Lucille O'Gorman, Betty Elman Packman, Samuel Morton Prince, Jeannie Rimmel, Dr. Kenneth Joel Rothman, Louis Rothschild Sr., Amy Sale, Minnie Kramer Sheely, Louis Bob Schultz, Jeannie Seidler, Rose Siffer, Harry Soffer, Carl Spector, Eli Stein, Joseph Leon Wax, Bessie Wenneker, Herman Willer, and Jean Yowitz. For those we keep in our hearts, and those who have no one left to say Kaddish for them, we rise together and join as a community in the Mourner's Kaddish on page 294. Yitzgadal v'yitzkadash shemei rabba, ba'alma tivarach ru'te v'yamlich malchute, b'chayachon u'vyomechon, u'v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'emru amen. Yehei shmei rabba v'harach la'alam u'almei almayam, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitzpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitale v'yitalal shmei kudusha barichu, la'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, ta'amiran ba'alma v'emru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'emru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'emru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort all who are bereaved.
Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'immeru amen.
So a few last words before we send you on your way. First, thank you again to all of our amazing participants, and Mazel Tov in advance to Noah and his family. When you leave tonight, we would love, if you wouldn't mind, just taking your Sidurim, your prayer books, and putting them out on the cart when you got them. And as our closing song, we thought we would do one that we don't really do that often anymore, but it's one that's really all about sort of the love of learning, because learning is supposed to be as sweet as honey on your tongue.
Sweet as honey, sweet as honey, sweet as honey on our tongue. Sweet as honey, sweet as honey, sweet as honey on our tongue. Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu לעסוק בדברי תורה, לעסוק בדברי תורה. Sweet as honey, let us soak it up, let it all sink in. Sweet words of Torah, let us soak it up, let it all sink in. Sweet words, sweet as honey. Let us soak it up, let it all sink in. Sweet words of Torah. Let us soak it up, let it all sink in. As honey on our tongue.
Thank you again to all of our teachers, and Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, sir. Oh, beautiful.
It went really well.
Thanks, Leslie. We used to sing it all. You want me to keep it straight? My daddy let me finish it. I want to finish it. Oh, man. I really should have let you turn it off. I would have finished it first. Oh my God. I went to 6 points. I'm sorry. Thank you so much. Reach out. All right. I want to know it's cool. Yeah.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure.
I know you're ready.